the process.
Oh yeah, the paving and we're live, we just went live, but yeah, but to finish that conversation, the actual paving of it and the actual laying of the floors is fun. But I've got one of my in-laws here, so to be fair, he's doing most of it. Like I had to do all the earthworks and make sure it's sorted. But I'm just sort of helping him out. I'm basically his trade assistant. I'm his. Another word for that is little bitch.
It's nice not to think and just be the muscle, right?
Yeah. Speaking of muscles, been going to the gym, baby. Yeah. My life is changing. Hey guys. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Infinite Podcast. Sorry, we're a little bit late today. Unfortunately, Donte couldn't make it because he had some issues at work where they needed to drag him in. And then there was just a little bit of miscommunication, I think, about what we were doing, and then we just got talking about stuff. So I'm sorry that you guys had to wait, and I love you all. You're amazing. Thank you for coming in. RSJ fan, shout out to you. Shout out to Lotus. Shout out to Lotus, who gifted 5 memberships. Really appreciate that. You are an absolute legend. Please reach out to Lotus and thank them for that. Game adaptation, yes, 20-minute intro. Apologies. I'm going to rework all that stuff, I think, in the next coming weeks, eventually. No promises. Monad, hi. I guess we should ask Holly how her week's been. How's your week been, Holly?
My week was a real week. It was a whole thing. It was my birthday this week.
Oh my God, happy birthday. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you 20? You just turned 20, right?
Yep, that's right. So I went out to dinner on Wednesday night, went to this super fancy restaurant. It's like a prefix with all these, there's a 12-course meal with courses that you would look at it and be like, I don't even know what food that is, right? It's so fancy and nice and wonderful. And it's a super tiny restaurant where the chefs are also the servers. It's got 8 tables, very small, 8, 10, just really small. And I shit you not. Oh yeah, I sent you the picture. Sitting at the table
Who is it?
next to me. His name is Will Poulter. Guys, pull up a picture of Will Poulter or look up his IMDb and you can show people who it is. If you've watched The Bear, which is a fantastic show, Riskit, have you watched The Bear?
I tried to watch The Bear and it's just
oh, it's so good.
It's just it didn't feel like show. Yeah, it didn't feel like being a chef. Everyone tells me it's great because when they realize that I was a chef, they're like, "Oh my God, have you seen this?" And I'm like, "No, a little bit, but no."
It's so good. Well, anyway, so anybody who's seen The Bear will know him, or if you've watched Masters of the Sky on Apple, he's in that. Yes. He was sitting at the table right next to me. And like I said, tiny little place. There's only 8 tables. And so we were like, all the time, right? And so we offered, he had tattoos all over his arms. So I think they're fake tattoos. I think for The Bear, I think he's here filming for The Bear, which is set in Chicago. And so I was like, oh, it was BYOB. So I had a bottle of something. I was like, would you like some? It's my birthday. We're here to eat and, just have a good time for my birthday. He's like, no, thank you. It's my birthday too. It was his birthday too. So that was really cool. Very, very, very nice. Very nice. But that was exciting. And he worked in a kitchen. It was too real for me. Game adaptation. So he was also in some Marvel movies as one of the, I don't know, a Marvel whatever.
Well,
but
can I just quickly skew on that, game adaptation? Sorry to jump in here, but what was real for me was Burnt. If you've ever seen Burnt with not Matthew McConaughey, but the other guy that's like him, blonde,
Woody?
blue eyes. No. Younger.
Brad Cooper?
Brad
Bradley
Cooper.
Cooper?
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. In Burt, like, because I've worked in, we don't have Michelin star kitchens over here, but like that level of kitchen, that's what it's about. And there's obviously, he had drugs in his past and all this sort of stuff. And that was like dramatized, but sort of realish for me. I'll watch The Bear. Sorry, Holly. Happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures of my food. I'm sure that will be very exciting for you. But it is really cool because the courses were all super, super good, and it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So I'm sending them to you now. But besides that, I started streaming again since the last time we podcasted. Everybody, Riskit has lost another bet.
I don't know if it's a bet.
Well, yeah, it's not quite a bet, but it's a promise that you're going to have to make good on, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I will do it. Yeah. It's going to happen. I will do it. Yeah. So I will play it. I will play Cyberpunk. However,
what's he doing? What's he doing?
Once I've got this thing.
Oh, yeah. Here's the perpetual excuse. The excuse.
Once I've got that thing in a case and I can make it full ray tracing, path tracing, maybe you'll get it'll be a more positive, thing. We'll see.
I love how you're calling every game on your current console trash now, because that's what you play on now. So if they're not good enough to play on a PC, then why is Cyberpunk?
No, because
gotcha.
Because CD Projekt Red doesn't know how to optimize a game quite clearly. So there, that's what it is. Yeah, I just never. I will play it, Monad. I will play Cyberpunk. It is going to happen. I have played it. I've played it for about 2 hours, I think. I'll try to I'll have to get through the whole thing. So if I just mainline it, then, hopefully it's only 20 hours max, whatever. I can deal with that.
Don't mainline it. Some of the really cool stuff is on the side. Like when you run into the guy whose cybernetic penis is about he needs a ride super fast to get to the doctor. It's really funny. Side quest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, I'll play it. But I want to ask a question. How's God of War going? Do you love it?
I'd say I'm like 65% through, 70% through, maybe. I'm gonna play, I think, tomorrow. I'm gonna stream some more tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure. It's okay. It's all right.
It's not okay. It is good. It is great. It is amazing. It is a brilliant, brilliant game. Gameplay is amazing. The character is amazing. Kratos is like just sort of learning to be a father, learning to have feelings.
I don't care about that. I don't care about
it's very it's very manly.
It's like I gotta say, like, the lore of the game is more interesting than the gameplay. Is definitely more interesting than the characters. And I think, like, because people have been telling me during the game, like, history, like the historical stuff from like the first 3, right? And then like Kratos is Greek in Norse mythology, right? So like kind of explaining like how he wound up where he is and a little bit of the background. And that's super interesting. Some of the Norse mythology that we're getting through the game, right? When they stop, they find those murals and the boy talks about whatever the story was. Super interesting. Kratos and the boy in this game, very boring. But the world is rich. Like Mimir, I met Mimir. Very interesting, right? Like a lot of these characters and how they're kind of interrelated. Very cool. Gameplay, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh. Holly, did you play Banishers?
No.
There you go, Monad.
Monad says you're mental for thinking that Banishers and God of War are the same or close.
Yeah, he said that to me the other day. But like, it's the same. It's the same gameplay. It's just Banishers just didn't pull it off. Like, very similar. In my view, I stopped playing Banishers because I couldn't keep doing the same fight over and over and over and over. I even put it on easy so I could just breeze. You know.
That's kind of how I feel about the combat in God of War. I feel like a lot of it is just a lot of the same.
Yeah, it's fun though. You can use a bunch of different things to do different things. You know what I mean?
There's
and
too many attack combos too, because like when I go into the skill tree and I have XP just to spend right on some of the stuff, I'm like, I'm never gonna remember in the heat of the battle like these 12 different things and very specific combos to do. So like, I'm sure that I could do much better at combo if I could remember. Like the 12 things, I'm like, okay, I got like 4 or 5 of them. Like I get through it. It's fine. It's good enough, right? Like the challenge, like the challenge bubbles where you go up and there's a bubble and somebody hops out, and like those are if I knew the combos, I feel like I could get through them, but I just don't pay attention to them.
Yeah, I just sort of learned like there's a lot. So I learned like a few of them that like worked for different situations.
Right.
That's all it is. Yeah. So like if you go to fight the Valkyrie, like you like, okay, this is not working. So I'll learn this combo and this combo, and then I'll use these 3 in conjunction to like win the fight. Yeah, there's a lot that happens to me as well. And I thought it was just because I'm old. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't remember all that shit. Like that's when I play an RPG and there's a whole bunch of stuff in it. And I'm like, I can't remember how this, like, I don't want to learn a whole new economy. I don't want to do that, man. I just want to play the game. Like, what the? Speaking of, by the way, we're speaking of trash games and games that, like, I've trashed heavily. I do have to walk something back slightly now. Star Wars Outlaws.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's a good game. It's not great. It's good.
What I think was completely breaking. I think it was literally just one thing. And I just went, fuck, because sometimes one thing can make me just go, you know what, fuck this, not playing this crap. And it was when she was dropping the gun all the time. You can pick up the spare gun or whatever.
Annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't do that anymore. So she carries the gun around. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So she doesn't drop it. So as soon as I jumped in and I'm like, oh, holy shit, I can keep the gun. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Yeah. I can drive around and do my thing, and it's cool.
Can she climb rocks better now?
Yeah,
or walk up hills that are slightly elevated.
It's still janky. It's still janky. It's still a bit janky like that. Like,
That's okay.
Which is really disappointing, right? Because you've got the pedigree of Assassin's Creed, which I know you don't play, but the pedigree of Assassin's Creed is like they've nailed climbing up the side of shit. Like they're all over that.
This is massive. Massive does different. Like
it does different
and stuff like that, right?
But
that's not.
You think climbing. You can call up the guys and be like, hey guys, we're going to have climbing. Like, why don't you come over here and just send a couple of animators and send a couple of level designers and let's just hash this out and make it look good. When you get to the top, right, you have to press A to climb over it's like, bro, why do I have to do that?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah. Well, I started it when it first came out on Ubisoft Connect because I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it or not. I got 1 month of Ubisoft Connect. I enjoyed that month that I played, but I canceled it and then I just waited for a sale. So I haven't completed it at all. So I bought it on sale like this past fall, and I'm just waiting for the time to be able to go and do the thing. So, I'm glad. I'm glad you're liking it. I'm glad you could admit when you're wrong sometimes.
No, I do when I'm wrong, but I don't admit when I'm wrong when I'm not. That's just the way I am, the way I are. Yeah, no, it's good. Like I was actually having a bit of a lull where I'm like, oh no. The other thing that I'm liking is Mio, because I like that sort of side scrolling.
I heard that's good. I heard it's kind of hard.
Yeah, I got to a hard bit, and I'm like, but do you know what? And it's imperative. It's like you have to get this right if you're going to do a side-scrolling Metroidvania like that. Is the controls need to be really responsive, and there needs to be a specific sort of set of moves when you get to each boss at each point, and they've done that well. They've so well. Like they've nailed that. I think that this could be. It's not a Silksong hard game, but I think this is definitely an Ori sort of level kind of game.
My friend who started it, they played Silksong, but they didn't finish it. They just got to a point where they got too frustrated, and they were like, they said they think that it's, it's similar, right? But they think that this one's actually a little bit better just because they felt it was a little more balanced in like the movement and things like that.
Yeah, the thing is with Silksong is like you have like some of your moves are locked behind I guess in Silksong, like you have a dive bomb and then you could do a couple of things after that. And then like you have to nail that to traverse as well.
The combo thing.
And so then and then sections are locked behind that. And I like that's actually a hard thing to pull off, the dive bomb properly. And so that's why I dropped off Silksong. I'm like, I've got a dive bomb all the way up this. I'm not going to spend a half an hour figuring out how to dive bomb this properly to get to the top. Okay. Yes, Special Neck Lost Crown is absolutely one of the best. Holly does not like it, but I thought it was Prince of Persia was absolutely amazing. I went back to the DLC. Shit, I don't think I've finished the DLC. You need to finish the DLC. And there's a couple of things in the game I haven't finished, but I've completed the actual main quests. It is solid. But Nick, you mostly just play
Rocket League.
That's Rocket League, yeah. Every time I see Nick on, it's Rocket League. Like, does this guy play anything else? Good to see that you play other stuff. We should probably jump into the topics because we're a week behind, obviously a couple of weeks behind because we my work's been all over the shop, but it's stabilizing, so that's good. So I should have more of a regular thing. Yeah, Metroid Dread was good, Nick, but I haven't finished it because it got hard at the end, and I got annoyed. I need to finish it. There's a few games I'm sort of hanging on. But into the topics. Before I do that, please hit the like button, share us out. We go live when I can at the moment. He's ranking all the Metroidvanias, and Ori should be at the top, in my opinion. Developer Direct. So to skew off again, I've noticed that's something that sir and ner. I'm actually noticing that in Australians a lot now. And then I'm like, do I do that? Do I do so and no? But I don't. Mine's more of an a, not a ner. So you're looking at me like that. So I think this is a Melbourne thing. This is a Melbourne thing. I don't think it's a. Strider's great. I don't think it's a West Australian thing. We're more of a say. No, not a ner. Yeah, you do, Nick. I've heard Melbourneites. Well, you maybe don't because you've got that sort of little touch of Greece in you, where you sort of have that almost Sydney accent, mate. That'll make him angry. Right, so we had Developer Direct. There's sort of a bit to cover off on this one. So I'm not entirely sure how you want to do this, Holly, but I fucking love this. I thought this is great. I think it was about time that we saw, something a bit deeper from Fable. And I'm a little bit disappointed in the release date, but just to get into Fable. There's only literally
in the release date.
It's too far away.
Well, everybody kept saying it was going to be 2027, so you shouldn't be mad that it's the first thing Riskit did was text, "What is your autumn? What month is that?"
Yeah. And you guys are like September-ish, and I'm like, all right, spring. All right, I got you. And I should know that. Like, I know that, but I'm like, what the fuck is? Where does it take? They should stop doing this. There is a whole nother hemisphere. Like, stop saying seasons like they're all over the planet. There's a couple of things that I'm a little bit annoyed about. So let me get the negatives out of the way real quick. I really wanted them to have the physical effects of your actions like the original Fable. So, like, I don't know if you played the original Fable, Holly, but in the original Fable, if you were good, if you were good, you'd start to get a halo, right? And wings. And you'd start to, like, you know, there would be, like, butterflies, like, flying around you and stuff like that. And it was cool. And then if you were evil, you'd start to grow hormones and your eyes would go red. Nick, it's not getting pushed to 2027. And by the way, Holly, I called that. I've been calling that it's like 2026, 100%. It's coming in 2026. There's no way this gets pushed. Not a chance. So that I'm a little bit disappointed about, but absolutely everything else, like, is just insane. Super happy with. Graphically, looks amazing. I love the way that they're approaching the interactions with the villagers, because that's like a huge part of what Fable is or was. And that he never really, is it Peter Molyneux? Never really sort of achieved I don't think the vision with Fable. You couldn't at the time, but like the way that he pitched Fable was like this ever persistent world where the villagers like live their lives and you could have romances. It was like, you know, so he was pitching it like it was real life. He's always pretty hyperbolic about his games, but never really achieved it. So I'm hoping that this sort of hits that, gets close. It's obviously not a VR game that we're just going to like live in, but I'm hoping it gets closer to that. Other thing that I thought was really sick, is the guys from the IT crowd. That previous trailer. Yeah, not the last one, but the guy before, the one before, with the pumpkins. That's actually a whole mission in the game. Like, it's a whole side quest. How cool is that is a side quest of the game? Like, that is absolutely insane.
They wouldn't have made a whole trailer for the game with him, with the dialogue that he had, all of that stuff, and it not be in the game, though. You thought it wasn't going to be in the game?
Yeah, I didn't think at that level, right? So I didn't think that they would have. So apparently, what's happening with Fable is they're doing it very much like that. So with like their side quests and their main quests or whatever, and then Humphreys, I think it was, is the guy, the leader of the Heroes Guild. So that's also a quest, and how they do that is like those sort of side interviews, right? So that's how they sort of telling the story of the game. It has that, I think, The Office. You know, in The Office, they pull them aside and they like talk about stuff.
The mockumentary.
And the mockumentary type. That's the word. The mockumentary, which I think is really cool. It keeps the humor. It's more modern, but it still keeps that humor within the game. So, yeah, look, I'm absolutely hyped for this, and I know that Tim Dog, who I'm not sure what he's doing these days, but I guess people could say the same thing about me. But Tim Dog was saying that we're looking at the combat now, saying that the combat didn't look like great, but it's an RPG. So like your melee combat obviously has a bit to do there, but you've also got, like, I think Monad was saying, won't you use fully magic? And I think it'll depend on what you want to do, and you could do both, right? So there's obviously range combat, there's magic, there's melee combat. I think it looked good. Some people were saying that there wasn't a lot of weight to the combat, but you can't see or feel what you can't see weight from a trailer. You can a little bit. You know, I could sort of see that Avowed didn't have the weight behind the combat, but I think this can if it's like implemented right. So it's got that slowdown as you make the hits. Love that, by the way, that he just like sends that dude across the screen. But you feel that through the controller. So you have added weight to your combat through the actual controller and the rumble pack, right? So I think it all looks good.
Curious. Now that you said that just brought two and two things together. So I was just talking about combat real fast. I was talking to Colt about this today, actually. We were talking about combat and actually like how little combat there actually is in certain games that are, in the RPG realm, right? Like he's replaying New Vegas. And so he was talking about how, he was doing these story quests and there's really cool, no spoilers, right? But he was talking about how he was out doing all these like fetch quests or like going here to talk to this person to get some information to be able to complete this other part and all the like, et cetera, right? And he was like, there's no combat in any of that, right? But it's still really good. It's really interesting. It's really dynamic. And I was like, yeah, like think about Mass Effect. And it's like one of the best games ever made, like most highly regarded, just a phenomenal series, right? And there's combat. Of course there's combat, right? But like you don't specifically remember Mass Effect because of that epic battle here, because of the combat or the actual play, right? The gunplay. There's all of these stories that are unfolding and it's told in really cool ways where you're moving around, you're not bored, you're intrigued. And so I mean, I feel like that's the same thing here, right? It's like it's an RPG. It's not meant to be do a fight here, go in the other room, do a fight, go here, do the other fight, right? It's meant to tell the story and weave the story and have the combat be a means to delivering you the story, right? It's not necessarily meant to be here's a combat game with some story built around it. So it's just a mind shift or a mind perspective. Of course, it has to be good when it's there, right? But it doesn't have to be there's combat all the time here and there, X and Y, right? And then when you said that about the Rumble and the thing, Xbox is supposed to, well, the rumor, right, is that new controller's coming out this year. Do you think that Playground has integrated all of the new haptic feedback into the game to fit? And I just saw Grey Monad put that something in there about that too. But that was already going there, Grey Monad. But do you think that they've worked with Playground to integrate that new haptic feedback and maybe this controller will launch at the same time as Fable? Or a little bit before so that you have it or have had some time to buy it before Fable comes out?
I mean, if it's coming out this year, then I think they would be crazy not to, right? They would have to have. The other thing is that they obviously already have built haptics. You know where this is going to go. They will obviously already have haptic integration because it's being released on PlayStation 5 straight out the gate, right? Which is obviously where I'm going to buy it. I'm kidding.
So stupid question though is just because PlayStation may have haptic feedback doesn't mean that it'll just directly translate 1-to-1 over to an Xbox.
Yeah. No, it definitely won't. But I'm sure that there'll be some sort of they'll have some sort of idea of how they did it over here, so they can transfer some of those learnings over there. I tend to think this is not me being an Xbox, but I tend to think that the Xbox haptic feedback will probably actually end up being better or better implemented, just because of they will have looked at the lessons from Sony's.
Yep.
They would have got a DualSense, pulled it apart, had a look at it, looked at software, see what they can improve on. That's what everyone does when you iterate.
And the
they're
battery
iterating off
life
the back
too.
of someone else. Yeah, battery life. My question is, will they have a normal variant and an elite variant? So will we get an elite, or does it come out as an elite to start with? But I think 100% they will have 100. Sort of why I'm holding off on getting the elite. You guys think I'm crazy, but I'm like, I've been waiting for this elite 3 for. I've literally got it up on my screen to buy. I'm gonna buy it next pay. I'm just gonna get an elite. Fuck it. But it's why I've been waiting, because I knew this haptic thing was coming out. I've known since, I think it was 2021 we heard about it to start off with, or maybe it was 2022.
It was the court cases, right? Oh, well, they asked.
No.
I mean, right after Sony launched the PlayStation 5, I got that survey that was like, so what do you think about haptic feedback? And I was like, yes,
Yeah.
give it to me.
And we heard, I think I can't remember. I have to go back, but I'm pretty sure I heard something about it, like in the rumor mill that's not like mainstream. Either before that survey or after that survey. I also got that survey, but I can't remember. So I heard something. I'm like, oh, well, they'll just wait. And I've been waiting for like nearly 5 years.
The other question about it is that like the Sony, even the base controller, right? Like they've always had the mic in it, right? And so like, with Astrobot, you have to blow into the mic sometimes, right? To have things happen. It's part of the haptic overview system.
Yeah.
So what's Xbox going to do for that portion? Are they going to put a mic in? Please don't put a mic in. Like, are they, you know what I mean? Are they gonna put something in that allows you to have like oral interaction? Don't. Or I don't know what else to call it. That's what it is. That's what it is. I don't know what else to call it, but you know what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah, we're gonna get some oral interaction. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. Xbox, can you please add oral interaction? Oh my god, if they do have blowing into the mic and they call it oral interaction, that's gonna be so good. It's so good.
they
I'm gonna
should
have to
pay
clip
me
this
for
and
that.
yeah, 100%. 100%. I am gonna clip that. I'm gonna send it to a couple of people at Xbox to see if we can get that happening. I don't think so, and I hope they don't have a mic. Because one of the worst things that you get in the multiplayer games now that we're like everything's cross-platform is these idiots that leave their mic on and their missus is talking to them in the background and the kids are screaming.
Terrible. Yes, it's terrible.
And it's like, bro, turn your mic off. Like there's literally a
Yeah.
button. All you need to do is press a button and you can save my ears. And then you have to stop and you go mute that guy and then the next game another guy comes in.
How embarrassing. That's Call of Duty all the time. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, all of Call of Duty. Yeah. It's like how embarrassing, like wouldn't you be like, well, that's embarrassing. Like if you have like all of that crap going on in the background, or like, you have somebody yelling at you for something that you did, and then like you've realized the entire lobby just heard you like getting your ass handed to you because whatever, right? Like I don't know. I'd find that embarrassing.
It's made for some great clips over time, but
True.
But it's annoying. It's really annoying. Oh, yeah, most, yeah. He's already yelling at you. I'm probably in trouble with Mo. We'll see. How. I'm generally always in trouble with Mo anyway. But back to Fable. From the look of what they're saying and from everything that they have said about the actual game, the villages, the reputation system, the opportunities to buy like absolutely everything, the combat, the kicking the chickens, the side quest, like from there is absolutely no bad. I think they're going to nail it, but I'm still worried that it's not going to be. They're not going to nail it. I'm still worried about that. Like that's a possibility.
Okay.
Holly, are you worried about that?
About Playground not nailing Fable? Missing the mark?
Yeah.
Well, I did think it was kind of. I actually did. I liked to hear them kind of say in the direct, like, now we know this is out of our normal playground, right? Like it's out of our normal play space and out of our normal like realm of games, but like don't get it twisted. Like we, all have loved Fable forever and we've been studying it and all this stuff. So I actually liked that they acknowledged that, because that is the one thing I always think. I'm like, but you've been making car games for forever, right? Like, how does Fable translate? But it looks fantastic. I think, I don't know. I mean, besides, I feel bad for them because there's such high expectations for this game from everyone that like anything less than perfection is going to really, they're going to take a beating, right? But I think that Playground has full capability of making an absolutely fantastic, stellar game. If they pull it off or not, we'll see. The other thing that they talked about in the direct, which is another one of these things, right? It's kind of like the Starfield thing where it was like, we're at Starfield, we have over 1,000 planets and you can go to any planet and there'll be something there to do or see or whatever. And everybody got super excited, right? 1,000 planets is gonna be so amazing, right? And then the game comes out and they're like, well, it's 1,000 planets, but 9,942 of them are boring, right? So they're like, why did you do that? Whereas, and in your opinion on Starfield might be different, and that's fine. I'm not saying that's my opinion. I'm just saying that's how it came out. But then, like, what worries me with Fable is that they're like, we made this village and we have over 1,000 interactable NPCs that all have a unique identity, that all have their own contextual lines, that will all interact with you, and they will all keep track of what you're doing, and they'll have an opinion of you, right? Which is incredible. That whole idea is incredible. And I love it. I hope it's done well so that they don't get the same pushback that Starfield did. And yes, Mo, Playground isn't Bethesda. I hear you and I see you. I'm just saying, I just hope that they're able to pull it off to a degree high enough that doesn't get them unnecessarily raked through the coals, because I'm sure it's a fantastic game and you don't want that one thing and that one promise to become the thing that everybody hangs their hat on.
Yeah, well, I don't. This is the thing. The landscape has changed because now they're releasing on PlayStation, so it's less likely. You know, you still get your zealots, but it's less likely to get raked over the coals because everyone has it and everyone's playing it. So they're like, they'll have more of a genuine opinion instead of looking for nitty gritty things to pick on to rake it over the coals, because that's generally what has happened with Xbox's exclusives, which they no longer have. Anyway, I just think I'll just say this. Mo, it was a terrible business decision to put it on PlayStation, but good on them. Like, let them do their thing. But yeah, I think it's less likely that's to happen. The other thing is, like, you sort of it's handcrafted. So that's one of the things they pointed out as well, is like the entire world is handcrafted. There is nothing procedurally generated. They built this whole thing from scratch, which I think is extremely ambitious. But again, I think if there's a studio that's going to pull it off, they're just one of the solid ones, right? Like, I think when it comes to like Gears Coalition's been pretty solid. I didn't really get into 4 and 5 too much, and the sort of story arc and the way it went wasn't really. I wasn't too happy with that, but I will say that they've always nailed combat, they've always nailed graphics, and I think Fable's always sort of nailed what every facet of Forza well, right? So I can't see them. Oh, then again, we have had Motorsport that was a bit of a miss, but different team. Bobby Hawk says, I feel like if they fuck up Fable, they can just be like, well, at least you have the pottery game and the driving game still. I don't think that's. There's one that you missed there, Bobby. So let's talk about that one. What did you think of this? Because Holly, traditionally, this is not your type of thing, right? This beast of reincarnation. But I'm generally the same as you. I'm not really into the whole JRPG type game. But this has a bit of a different feel to it, right? It has more of you're a forest fairy ninja in the future. So to me, with a dog. So to me, and then it has like free flowing combat, but then as well timed combat. This was really interesting. I was like, I did not think I was going to have any interest in this game whatsoever at all in any way. And then when they went through like what the game is, I'm pretty intrigued. I'm not 100% sold, but it looks cool, man. Like, you can use your dog for combat. You can initiate combat with your dog, or you can initiate combat yourself. You can stop combat to make decisions. You can continue with free flowing combat. Exploration looks amazing. Graphics look pretty good. It's not full JRPG-ish. It's obviously in there. Some of the DNA's in there. And this also comes from the guys who did do the Pokemon games. So You know, it's very. It was this whole thing, by the way, was very. I've lost my damn camera. This whole thing was very touchy feely. Yeah, ish.
Emotional.
Sort of, yeah, emotional. Like he's like, I asked my heart what it would think, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a little bit much, but yeah. So what did you think of this one? I'm pretty intrigued. I'm going to play it. It's on Game Pass. I'm definitely going to boot it up on my 5090 and run path tracing and the whole bit.
Oh, dear God. See, we all said this day would come, didn't we, chat? Didn't we? And never. Yep. Well, so much for that. So it's funny because when they first showed this, I think it was last summer, I was like, oh, this looks so good. I was like really into it. And ironically, this trailer made me less excited than the first one. I don't know why, but I am definitely going to try it because this is it Game Freak, right? Isn't Game Freak the name of the Pokemon studio? It's cool to see them doing something outside of Pokemon, and it's interesting. Like you said, it's a little more palatable for my tastes. And I liked a lot of the combat in it, so I am interested in trying this, and I'm very happy to have Game Pass for this.
Yeah, and it was also a bit of a surprise, right? Because I think they showed this like real briefly at a previous show, like just a trailer for it, and I was like, oh, yeah,
that's when I was like, ooh, and now I'm like, oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
I was more like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this. But now that it's like, it looks like it's pretty deep in lore. It looks like it's pretty deep in combat. It looks like the exploration it sort of looks like it's not God of War-ish, but it's not open world. I can't remember if they said it was exactly open world, but it seemed that, I don't think they mentioned that, like what the world was like, but it seems to me like it's sort of open world curated. You know what I mean? Where it's got that sort of Expedition 33 map thing on it, like where you can go certain places and then you do an area and you sort of move to the next one. That's what it seems like. Don't quote me on that. If anyone in the chat knows if it's fully open world or not, like drop a thing in there. But like, I also like that because, you know, Outlaws is open world and that's going to take me probably 100 hours to, you know, or like minimum 60 hours to finish that, right? And I just, like we were talking when we booted up show, I just don't have time for that. I got 5 kids, 2 of them little. I got, you know, paving outside that's being done. I've got reflooring done inside. Like, I did a little bit of extra work last night in my sort of side gig. Like, I'm flat out all the time. So, you know, so I usually get like a couple of hours a day in of gaming. You know, 100 hours is 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, I need to sort of get through games, and I don't like every game to be an open world. So to me, it's pretty appealing if it's not, you know. If it is, also still appealing if it's good. Like, I'll play it. But I do find myself not completing, like, there's only a few Assassin's Creeds in recent memory that I've completed to the end. Like, I did do Origins, but I didn't complete the one that came after that everyone loves that I think is not as good.
Shadows?
I didn't complete Shadows either. No, there was another one after. Odyssey. I didn't complete Odyssey. Yeah, it's just too big. What she said. But I imagine that she did. That's what happened. So yeah, it'd be good if it's that. But everything looks. I'm pretty surprised this game. Pretty stoked. I think this sort of raised the profile of the direct as well. I mean, it was already pretty. Like, just have Fable, decent direct. You know, this has sort of raised the profile for me.
And it helps. You know, it creates a more well-rounded direct as well, right? Because it sort of brings in a little more of the Eastern audience or people who like Eastern style games. So I think it did help. And people are very interested in this game coming from
and
them.
it sort of sits in between, right? Like
Mhm.
it's
Yep.
it's not quite it's not quite Eastern, but it's not quite Western. It's sort of in
Right.
that middle sort of section, which sort of opens it up for a lot of people. I guess we should, otherwise, Monad, if I don't talk about this game, we don't really think there's a whole lot to sort of say about this game, to be honest with you. But, you know.
Yeah, dude. I have no expertise in this. I played, you're going to talk about Horizon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played way more Horizon 5 than I ever thought I would. I don't know how much it is, but I think I played 20 something hours, which for me is a lot. I really enjoyed Horizon 5 for what I did play, but it's just not, I'm just not a huge driving game fan. I do like Horizon obviously better than Motorsport simply just because there's like challenges and things to do like that, but it's not necessarily my jam. And I'm not a good one to critique it because I don't play a lot of them. So it's not fair for me to say anything really positive or negative about it except that it looks beautiful, which they always do. So, yay. That's it. That's all I got.
Well, I think that there's a couple of things to sort of ask about the game is will it have ray tracing included on the console? You know, so, and Monad sort of braced things as well. Because to be honest with you, I didn't fully watch this one because it is Forza 6. I will play it. And there's not a whole lot for me in car games to sort of learn that I'm going to be like you. But Forza 5, I never really played Forza 4, and I should have because it was in Australia, which is obviously the best one ever made. But I didn't play 4, and then I jumped into, I mean, I think I played a little bit of it when Game Pass became a thing, and I was like, oh, this is not really for me. It's not, it felt a little bit more simmy. But when they really launched 5, I don't think there was a whole lot out at the time. And my God, did I play a lot of 5. I played a lot of 5. I think don't quote me, but I think I would be over 100 hours in 5. I absolutely loved that game. It was absolutely fantastic. Like, so good. Looked amazing. Didn't need the ray trace. I mean, yeah, it would have been great. They had sort of some interesting solutions for reflections in the game that I think Digital Foundry broke down. And they would have, like, on the actual cars, they would have different SSR solutions for different parts of the car, so you would get different reflections back on the car. Really cool what they did with it, the tech they did with it. I'm sort of hoping for the guys on console that you do get that ray tracing experience. I think we're at a stage in the console cycle where we should be squeezing out as much of the performance out of these consoles as is possible. The other thing I think that bodes well, which is sort of going off on a bit of a side skew, is that with what's going on with RAM prices and all that sort of stuff within the PC space, we're not stuck in this console's obviously got room to move up to another iteration in the next cycle. But developers are going to have to really start focusing more on optimizing their games for all the systems that they're being released on. And I think that sort of bodes well for the Series X as well, because the more you optimize top end, the more you don't optimize top end. The more you optimize bottom end, the better performance you get at top end. You get better performance all across, right? So you should have more overhead to put in things like ray tracing. Will they be able to push it out with 30 FPS ray tracing, or will they be able to squeeze out 60? We have seen games with 60 ray tracing. I think it's a bit of a big deal in car racing games. Like, I think you should have ray tracing in car racing games. The reflections of the car, the reflections.
Technical. They're really meant to be technical
showcase
masterpieces, right? Yep.
Yeah. So I really think it sort of has to be there. Should I mention it, or am I being crazy? Sorry. I didn't know. I'm sure midgets make games too, but I don't know. Sorry. It just sort of ADD next minute. But yeah, so I think that's a necessity that they have to do. From the sounds of everything sounds like pretty cool. I'm going to play it. But One thing that Monad did mention is that they're adding more of a tech, sort of a technical responsiveness to your suspension, which I don't think is bad. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think Monad's a little bit worried about it when he was telling me about it. If you're wondering why I'm referencing Monad's, because he is the Forza guru. Like, that's his thing. He loves that shit. Loves it. And is very good at it. He's actually impossible to. I think I may have beat him once, but then I'm not even sure if I beat him once. Like, he's almost impossible to beat. Like, he is a Forza savant, 110%. But look, if they're combining, and this is what I said to him, is if they combine a little bit of motorsport because they've dropped motorsport into Forza, I'm not mad about that. As long as they don't go too far with it, because it is the arcade racer. That's its appeal. That's its mass appeal, and it's going to bring more players, more eyes into the game if it's got that arcadey feel. But the looks of this looks great. Everyone's been asking for Japan. There is a lot of games in Japan at the moment, though. I have to say, we might be Japanned out in a couple of years. I don't know where we're going to go next. Let's maybe shift slightly. Go to Mongolia. I don't know, wherever. The Arctic, that's opening up. Greenland, that would be amazing. Sorry, thought it'd be funny. So yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot more to say about Forza. But yeah, it looks amazing. I'll be playing the shit out of it. Obviously, won't purchase it. I'll play it on Game Pass. And yeah, I think it's, again, they're looking like they're going to do what they need to do with the game. So I'm pretty happy with that, Holly. Anything else? Look at that. Look at the detail. Nine times the detail.
Yeah. I mean, that's why even if you're not like the big racing fan, it's always worth downloading these and playing around with them, even if it's just a little while, because they are so photorealistic. It's just really, it's beautiful tech to look at.
Oh, it's amazing. So like my two daughters, which the girls, they don't. I've got three daughters, but my two eldest girls, whenever they come over, they always ask if I don't really have it downloaded anymore, but they always ask if I have 5 downloaded, so they can just blaze around the tracks, because they think it looks beautiful. So, and they do not play video games. Something I would like to rectify. Unfortunately, their mother has more of a hold over what they do and don't do than I do. But we'll see if we can rectify that as time goes on. And moving on to the next game. Before I do, please hit the like button, share us out. We go live at sometime. Sometime.
Yep.
We're working on that. We're working on it. It will be every second week, hopefully, after this next swing. We'll see what happens. But there was another game that popped up, which I don't know how Holly feels about this one. I'm feeling like, based on her look, positively. I mean, who hasn't wanted to see Tim Schafer? Is it Tim Schafer? Tim Schafer. Mm-hmm. Who hasn't wanted to see him do the scene from Ghost? I mean, honest. Oh, my love. Sorry. If Demi Moore came up, if Patrick Swayze, like the ghost of Patrick Swayze, came up behind him, that would have been amazing. They should have done that. Missed opportunity. This one is, I don't know. I don't know about this. It's weird. It's wacky. It's Double Fine. It's sort of their thing. Multiplayer, don't know. Tim's a great fucker. Like, I don't know. You can't not like anything Tim does. Like, even Tower. I didn't finish it. Played it a little bit.
Like Keeper.
Yeah. Tower. Whatever. I can't remember the name of the game. I played a little bit. I was like, yeah, this is not my thing, but I see what you're doing, And he just gets to do all this stuff, and we need someone like this to do this stuff so that, like, we might get some absolute crazy gold. So I'm happy that he exists. I'm happy that he made this game. I don't know how I feel about it. Holly, what do you think?
I love Tim Schafer so much. I really loved Tim Schafer. And I thought that this video that they put together was really good, right? The editors for this part were so good because they kind of showed everybody, and they were really quirky. Like, if you go back, even if the game doesn't interest you, like, the editing in this video is legit because they just put in the right little, like, sounds and sound bites and cuts to weird faces people are makes perfect. I did play Keeper. I finished it, and I will tell everybody, Magnum, that Keeper, the last third of Keeper is the best part of the game. It gets significantly better at that point in time. I really like I got it. I knew that a lot of people probably wouldn't make it to that point because the first part is kind of slow, etc. But that last third is really good. As far as this game, I don't know if you remember, like they were talking about this prototype
Way back.
style.
Way back.
Yeah, like 8 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that they talked at the beginning how they just kind of come up with these incubator ideas as like side projects, right? So this is not like it's not like they've had a whole group at their studio progressively working on this, you know, with fervor for 8 years. This was just one of their like workshop ideas that people would kind of creatively poke in here and there, right? And then start to form it and get it to a better place until it was kind of like, okay, yeah, let's really get this thing finished and out the door. While they work on all of their other stuff. And this is infinitely better than I thought it was going to be, because when I first heard this idea and it only being multiplayer and it just being this, I was kind of like, okay, all right. Well, maybe this isn't what I was thinking it was going to be. But I I really hope people give this a shot because of course it's multiplayer. So you really need other people to play the game. But I thought some of the game modes that they had sounded super fun. The idea of how you can make your own shape of your pottery and then how that plays, they have to play differently, right? Because they're different shapes. Like hold water differently, they move it around differently. But there was like capture the flag, and there were like castle defense kind of things and other style game modes, and I thought it looked really, like I said, way better than I was originally expecting. So it's not like I'm like, this is my most anticipated game this year or anything like that, but I think people don't give Double Fine enough love because they are actually very, very good at these cute, lovable, heartwarming, indie style games. And I'm really very interested and intrigued to see what this actually plays like. I think it's going to be better than people think.
I don't have.
But I'm also
so I don't have
biased
much
because
hope.
I really like Double Fine. So
I don't have much
I'm
hope
biased.
for it. Like to be honest, and I'm going to be honest. Wasn't a big fan of Psychonauts. I was, but I wasn't. Yeah, I was, but I wasn't.
Psychonauts 2 is genuinely one of the top 5 best games that have come out in the 2020s. It's fantastic. It was the game of last generation on Xbox, like Xbox exclusive wise, which I know isn't saying a lot, but still. Psychonauts
It's an easy
2
crown to. That was an easy crown to take at that point. But yeah, I think that the studio is important. I like that they do these stretch projects. And hopefully one day there'll be something there for me, but there really hasn't been a whole lot there for me. This one, I mean, I want it to have legs.
I want to time Magnum out.
What was that?
Because he's being a punk. He said Psychonauts was trash. He said, what else did you say? Keeper was stupid. Jeez, man, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. It just wasn't. And I do like platformers. I don't know. I don't know what about Psychonauts. I think something annoyed me. There was that's the thing. I'm not easily annoyed, but once I get to a point where I'm like, no, like with Star Wars Outlaws, I'm like, fuck this. No. As soon as she was dropping the gun, every time I went up a ladder, I'm like, this is just completely breaks my immersion. I don't think it was anything like that, but I think something did annoy me. I got stuck somewhere. I was a fair way through the game.
Puzzles are pretty tough in Psychonauts 2. Mm-hmm.
I think I got stuck somewhere, and I was like, you know what? Something else came out, and I'm like, I'll come back to this, and I just never did. Which happens with a lot of games. Happens with a lot of games. There's so many games out there. I don't know. Yeah, look, I'm interested to see where this goes and how it pans out. I'll definitely play it. Obviously, it'll be on Game Pass, so I'll definitely play this game. And I sort of hope they put it into PlayStation Plus as well, so that
it needs lifeblood.
Yeah. So when this drops, like it has a huge community, a huge opportunity for a community. I think that would be the smart thing to do if you're Xbox. Make a deal. And you never know, games like this can end up being like, I mean, look at Fortnite. No one thought Fortnite was going to be Fortnite. Games like this can just end up being the thing, you know? So,
well, and
I'm hopeful.
James makes a good point too, which is like, I mean, for people with smaller kids especially, right? This game is going to be, I feel like a game that looks like this and has a lot of fun, bouncy, bubbly characters. They can make their own pot. That's going to be huge for people with kids, right?
Yeah.
If you could get the adult to want to play this game and to download it and be like, hey kids, you want to play? Like, I feel like a game with like this would go over very well, like even with younger kids, right?
Yeah. I mean, I never let my kids win at anything though. So if we do play, I will destroy them. And they normally get annoyed because I destroy them. I don't let them win, and then they get angry and they quit. But there's a lesson in there, not for me, for them, and maybe for everyone else.
But definitely not you, right?
Definitely not me. Definitely not me at all.
Okay.
We definitely move on to the next topic. But look, look overall, I think Developer Direct was like top tier. One of the best that they've done. I think it's up there with their best. Kiln was a bit of a surprise. You know, it definitely wasn't their best. But it's definitely up there with their best. And I think Kiln was a bit of a surprise. So it's sort of good to see something a little bit different, a little bit wacky. Forza 6, I think, is going to do what it needs to do. I'm hoping it has that ray tracing element for people on the Peasants on console. Sorry. I'll always have a console. I'll be one of those peasants. Don't get upset, guys. And I think Fable's looking like it's going to do what it needs to do. I think it's a good year for Xbox. Interesting to see what happens with Gears down the line. Interesting to see what happens with that controller if they launch with that. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this year. I think this year is going to be one of my favorite years. 2023 is so far this generation has been my biggest year. 2024 wasn't bad. And then 2025, yeah, definitely 9 out of 10, Monad. I'll give you that. Holly, what's your score?
I don't know, 8.5, 9. That's fine. I think Xbox has finally gotten to a point where I feel like they've learned and almost perfected their showcase cadence and timing and
format
collection, right, for each of these shows. They have gotten really good, and I think Tina Amini was key in kind of bringing all of those pieces together and trimming them down and making them more what the player wants. And they just, even if you're not interested in all the games in them, I think they do a very, very good job and just knock it out of the park in how they present these things. It's good.
Yeah, they're different formats as well, like coming up with two different formats, so that instead of having, because what they used to have basically is a showcase with a developer direct in it. So like you were learning about the new games, and then you'd have to listen to developers, and you're like, shut up, dude, what's the next one? Whereas now they have showcase, which is they're just like game little bit of a trailer, tiny bit about it, next game, and they just sort of hit you like that. Whereas these developer directs, like, we've shown you these games, so now here's the developers talking more about these games. And I think that's a very good format to sort of have. Build the hype for the game, explain the game, continue that hype, release the game. I think that's a great way to do it. I think they're nailing it. I think PlayStation could learn from it if they had any games. Moving on to the next topic, but before we do move on to the next topic, please share us out. Like, subscribe. We go live sometime, somewhere, somehow, every somewhere. What is our next topic? Oh, dude, that's something else. So this is actually a topic that I sort of wanted to like call out. I really haven't seen anything online. There's been a bit of a shift in my Twitter, so I'm seeing less gaming stuff. Unfortunately, I probably need to rectify that somehow. But I don't think there's been enough hype for like what Game Pass has brought this month. It has been absolutely
canceled their ultimate Game Pass after the price hike.
I mean, did they though?
I think a lot of people did.
Do you know what's crazy, by the way? Is that there's still Xbox cards out at we have a place called Big
For
W.
the good price.
Yeah, and they still give you that. They still give you 3 months. I'm like, this is. I do actually need to go out and get some more this pack. But I'm pretty much paid up till I think 2029 sometime. I think I need to have a look at that.
Yeah, you can
maybe
only do 3 years at a time. You can only do 3 years.
2028. 2028. I think I'm in 2028. I thought I was in the first couple of months of 2029, but I might be in the first couple of months of 2028. And I do need to check that. But it's been a huge, man. Like huge. At this point, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you never need to buy games. PlayStation guys will love that I said that, Star Wars Outlaws, that's dropped, obviously, in there. We're talking about that. Routine, didn't play that, but that's been a long time coming. There was Mortal Kombat 1, Space Marine 2, Final Fantasy, which is the sort of old redone one. I don't know why it says... Really? That was the start. Yeah, it's the start of the month. So yeah, that was in there. Why does it say Atomfall was dropped in there? I don't think that was. Yeah, Space Marine 2. You had that Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition. If you haven't played that, 110% play that. What else have we had? Resident Evil Village. Towerborn's coming and Replace's coming in Feb March. And then you've got High on Life 2. And like they're absolutely that's the bangers of this year. Like quite a few of them all dropped into Game Pass, which is unbelievable. I just wanted to call that out because I don't think it's getting enough love. End of 2027. Okay, so it must be. I'll have to rectify that and push it into 2028. Thanks, Monad. Monad is my memory.
He's a secretary.
Yeah, I need to go after January 2029. And Monad was the one that told me there's still cards they're working on. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go back and get more because I got a bunch. Well, Holly, you wanted to talk about this. I think this is your, like, I don't know if you wanted this as a topic, but like, or if this was just your victory lap, sort of posted in the topics. So apparently Battlefield 6 has dropped out of the top 10 and
Zynga.
Call of Duty is still doing that's because people are creatures of habit. That says nothing about the game. The game is trash. It is absolute trash. But then what does it say about Battlefield 6? Because I think they've recently made some, they were like, we're doing this. And then they're like, Battle Pass, expensive stuff in the store. This added, that added, this added, and they added all this monetization shit that has come down from corporate. And I think it's pissed a few people off. Also, they've sort of split their base, I think, with like, I really liked the modes that they added. What's up, Godzilla? I liked the modes they added, but I don't know if people were like pretty happy with the Battle Royale. I wasn't super happy with it. It was okay. They had a gauntlet mode, which is, basically, I think it's 4 teams, 4 or 5 teams. No, 6 teams. And then you whittle down the teams toward the end by doing objectives. That I loved. The red sec was great. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe they're not releasing content hard enough. Maybe this says something about the state of gamers at the moment, like their attention span.
I don't know. I don't know that that's it. Normally, I would say maybe yes, but like in all reality, if you think about the last 3 months, right? The Battlefield came out kind of the beginning of October. Then we had Arc Raiders drop October 30th. And then we had Call of Duty drop November 14th. And Arc Raiders has kept like roughly 90% of their player base, which is insane for any live service game, right? To keep that high of a retention afterwards. And I mean, obviously, we saw some Call of Duty drop off, but Call of Duty's big, so it didn't like most people who are playing Call of Duty in March are the people who play Call of Duty every year, right? It's always the same player base. So like I think ultimately they're kind of saying like the drop off isn't any different than it would normally be, right? For a Call of Duty, because Call of Duty players are just gonna play Call of Duty, except me playing Arc Raiders. So I don't know. I feel like it says something about Battlefield, not necessarily the player base. Maybe it's the player base, not the game. It's one or the other, right? There's something there that like the retention just isn't like, do they not add enough consistently to keep people like coming back for whatever the gameplay loop is that, draws them in? Is it because of like we know Battlefield, we know Call of Duty, but Arc Raiders was this weird thing that came in that nobody was expecting, right? Or expecting to be that big. So is it that people have kind of siphoned off and gone over there? Is it like I don't know, but I found it interesting that this being a very weak year for Call of Duty still showed those numbers, right? Because we thought I think we all kind of thought Battlefield would hold a little bit longer than it did.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I do feel like Arc Raiders ate Battlefield's lunch a bit. I do feel like COD players are just always going to play COD. That's what they do. They always go to COD. I don't know why. Like, if it's good, play it. If it's shit, don't play it. But I think a lot of them are like the Gen Zers, the guys that like they don't really play video games. They just play COD, finish work, come home, order a bucket of KFC, and just play COD.
Mo says, I did it. I knew it wouldn't last. Did you feel the capital letters in my...
Yeah. I mean, I've dropped off Arc Raiders just because I got really sick of the, like, I'm trying to play a certain way, but no one else is. And I guess that's the fun of it. And if you like that, that's cool. But for me, I'm like, man, fuck this. Like I'm not, I sort of feel like there should be a PvP sort of side. Battlefield is Battlefield, Mo. It's very Battlefield. They did bring in a whole bunch of shit though that like I would disagree with. I don't know if it's that. I don't think people overrated Battlefield from the start either. Fuzzy Tomato, it is a great game. It's one of the few games now that me and my son will sit down and play for like hours. Like there were days I didn't shower. All right, that's what happened. So. I've lost my sort of... it wasn't overrated, man. I don't know. I feel like Arc Raiders ate its lunch. A little bit of Arc Raiders eating its lunch. A little bit of it making some poor decisions. The core loop is there, and maybe a little bit of it not adding, super crazy, like good content. It dropped Red Sack, and then it's been pretty quiet since then. And maybe their map should have been better. I mean, look at Halo as an example of what not the fuck to do. Which is like launch and then have nothing for 6 months. And then when you do drop something, it be not that great. So yeah, maybe Battlefield's suffering from a little bit of Haloism at the minute.
But there's a lot of comments in here about their opinions on why Battlefield is failing. Battlefield is like Halo. They are a relic of their time. Battlefield tried to be COD. Why are the maps so small?
Yeah, the maps aren't small. Mo. They're just not as big as 2042. They're about the same size as Battlefield 4. Some of them bigger. And that is about the right size, is Battlefield 4 size maps. Battlefield 3 had maps just as small. They have their tight close quarters maps, and they have their larger vehicle maps. There's always a mix, which is good. I don't think some of the maps are great. Like a couple of the ones that they've launched. I don't think their use of vehicles has been great either. And if you're talking about like Caspian, where is Caspian? That's like a massive Battlefield 3 map that was in 4 as well. Where's Caspian? Where is the dish? There's a couple of old school Battlefield maps that that are just easy wins for them to drop, and they should have dropped them, to be fair, and they haven't. So yeah, I think it's a combination of a bunch of things. But when it comes to Battlefield, like Mo and audience, I wouldn't say I'm the expert now, but back in the day, I was the expert. Anything you want to know about Battlefield, I knew what was coming, what had happened, what was wrong, what was right, all that stuff. That was me. I was that dude, bro. But now I see this as like they've sort of matched Battlefield 4's like, for gameplay. I think maybe content might be an issue, and I also think that there's a little bit of Arc Raiders eating its lunch. And I just Arc Raiders' loop. It is addictive, but it is just so repetitive.
No, it's not.
It's
fantastic, I guess, in every way possible.
I guess every game is repetitive, but it's just so like, it's so based around you are the expert of nothing. It's so I love that. Actually, I'm highly trained in a couple of areas. I am considered an expert in a couple of fields in Australia. But that's work. We won't talk about that. What? Did you just say that?
Mo said, take it back. You're the expert of pissing me off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. As long as Monads. The other thing is I've got so many blueprints stored to give people that just didn't want to play the game. Like Monad didn't want to play the game. My son didn't want to play the game. Like he got into Baldur's Gate 3 now. That's what he's like stuck in at the minute. He is like playing through Baldur's Gate 3. I'm like, bro, that moment has passed. But I mean, good on him if he's enjoying it. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's so luck whether you get the right blueprint. And then it's also so like I got the Vulcan blueprint from doing the event on Spaceport, but you're always chasing a blueprint. It's not. It's designed to keep you hooked. And then once you're out of it, you're like, oh my God, why was I taking that gaming crack? So you need to be out of the loop for a while. Play some other things. Do you know one of the first games I am going to play as well when I get this PC up and going is Hogwarts. So it'll be Cyberpunk, and then I'm going to jump on Hogwarts. I'm disappointed that I have to play bloody Cyberpunk as one of the. Maybe I'll play something else first, just so I can enjoy. Maybe I'll play God of War. Yeah. Highguard. Looks amazing. Have you played any Highguard, Ollie?
So I had no interest in Highguard when it was shown off at the Game Awards. But then there was all that hype the first few days before it came out. So I was like, Monday. So Monday it came out here on Monday at noon. And I was at the office and I was like, okay, when I get home, I'm going to download Highguard and I'm going to try it out. It's free to play, can't hurt, right? And so I'm at work Monday and I turn on some streamers and I start watching some streamers play Highguard. And about 25 minutes later, I went, never mind, I'm good. I didn't even download it once I got home because I saw what it was and I was just like, First of all, I'm not the target audience. I don't like hero shooters at all. And this isn't even a hero shooter. It's like a first person League of Legends, right? And I don't play League of Legends. So both of those things are not my jam. I don't like Overwatch. I don't. So it was already kind of a, I'm probably not going to like this, but I'll give it a shot. And then when I watched them play it, I just completely lost interest very quickly. And apparently I was not the only person who had an issue with
Yeah. I think it went down from, like, at one point it was at 100,000 players. I think because everyone was just checking. Yeah.
They lost 50% of their players in 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then
it
by like Wednesday, it was down to like 10,000 players.
Yeah. And then I think it's gone even lower. I think it's like down to like 3. Yeah. Which is
it's a shame.
Yeah. It's a pity.
I feel bad for them.
Stop. I mean, it's a lesson to these studios, man. Like, I guess, like, take a gamble like Arc Raiders did, right? You know, like, sort of, you're making other shit. But stop taking gambles on hero shooters and battle royales and all that sort of stuff. Like, there are games that are sort of crowd pleasers that you can make, and make those. Like, you know what I mean? Like, PlayStation did this well. PlayStation did this well in 4. They made those story-based single-player games. You make your money out of it, get it back. Like, you know, be careful with your budgets. Like, I feel like the whole industry is just completely fucking mismanaged, chasing a golden goose at the moment. That's what I feel like we've seen from the industry in the past 5 years. Is just like the next golden goose. We're going after that. And then we're surprised. Well, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just showing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks, and they get a Halo, they get an Arc Raiders. And every time there is an Arc Raiders, it's an example to them like, oh, we could do it. The next big thing is going to be extraction shooters. Someone's going to start going after that genre again.
Extraction shooters are the next. We're going to see lots of extraction shooters come out now. Mm-hmm.
And it's ridiculous. And the original one was Division. I feel like they could have done really well without it. I hope that they don't go crazy with the Dark Zone in 3. I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned.
What the Dark Zone in the first one was good. The second one was absolute garbo. Like, it was terrible, and they never really did anything to fix. Although I don't know what you would have done to exactly fix it, but it was not good. It was disappointing.
Yeah, I think the problem with the Division and 2, both of them, is that they hadn't figured out how to make that work the loot and make the loop. You know what I mean? There's a very, like, Arc Raiders has nailed it, where they've made, like, blueprints are very rare to get. And the ones that you get are usually the same fucking ones over and over. And they give you the blueprints that make that you do have a couple of powerful ones. Everyone gets, you know, like the what's the 6-shooter handgun? I can't remember the name of it now. The Venator and the other one. The Venator is the Anvil. So they make the Anvil and the Venator sort of easier to get. So you've got those, and there's a bunch, you know, and they're sufficient for you to, like, come up against other players and win. And then there's much better guns, obviously, and there's obviously a skill balancing. So I think Division had problems with, like, balancing the weaponry, the amount, the rarity of the weaponry, and then the skill base, because it was sort of very spongy as well. So you could cheese your opponents well, if you were smart.
Yeah, and the other problem was, like, because of the gear system in the Division. I mean, it was that part was a problem in the first one too. The second one has more issues because they split up the Dark Zone and all of those little pieces. And it made it much more difficult to actually successfully extract, right? But, like, you would have these dudes who just no life this game, just go in and grief any poor sucker who was like, I'm just gonna go to the Dark Zone and try it out for a little while, and people just absolutely hate it because they could never get anywhere with it.
Yeah, or get anything. Yeah, because as soon as you went in, there would be guys who have already, like you said, no-lifed it, had all the powerful weapons, and you just get wrecked. And you're like, well, fuck that. I guess I'm not playing. I finished the game, and
never
I'm not
going
playing
in there.
Yeah, and I'm not going to play that again. Initially, when it first started, it was good, but they just they had real problems with balancing, and they need to get that right. But I love the actual game, like the main game itself. So even if there was no Dark Zone, I'll be buying the Division 3 straight off the bat. Like that game was, loved it. Loved the look of it. Loved the feel of it. Loved the co-op of it. Loved it. Just loved it. Fucking great. Such a great game. I loved how like in the trailer, they closed the door when he was walking along the car, and like it didn't do that, and people complained. They're like, all right, well, we can do that. So they put that in there. Loved it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just as well, a broader industry. I don't feel like the industry learns its lessons from its history of games. And then I don't feel like it learns from each other, like themselves. I feel like the industry is very siloed into each studio and then siloed into each game. Whereas they make a mistake with a game, they make a new game, they make all those fucking mistakes again. Like Battlefield is a perfect example. They made like 3, nailed it, brought out 4. It was absolutely terrible performance, rubber banding all over the place. It was a joke. People don't forget this stuff. People forget that Battlefield 4 was like one of the worst launches a Battlefield has had. Then they're like, all right, cool. So we're not going to do that with 1. They don't do it with 1. Then they launch 5. They do it with 5 again, like not as bad as 4, but they do it with 5 again. You know what I mean? Then they make, they did, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that each game for them becomes this silo where they haven't taken the lessons of the past and applied it to the game that they're making. So I think there's a lot of that. There's a lot of not learning your lessons, a lot of chasing the golden goose. Yeah, it sounds like I think the industry is in a really, really bad state, but I think the benefit is that there's so many big AAA studios and there's so many indie studios that there's always going to be something good to play. But disappointing to see when companies like Highguard, you know what I mean? Like you've filled up that space, dude. Like there's no more room in it. Like make a different genre. Don't make an extraction shooter.
Well, they said it was they call it Highguard they called it a raid shooter. That was a new genre, but the problem is they just took an idea and didn't see it all the way through. I feel
which you did.
Like
yeah. Good. Hey Mav, how you doing? Can we also say that Keeley doesn't know what he's talking about? Yeah. I mean, I think
he's going to have such a hard time this year living this down, man.
I literally posted under his Twitter, or I might have reshared his thing when he like used the Jurassic Park thing. When he like this tomorrow, I'm going to be accepting your apology, and I think I posted, and we know how that went. Like, and it's 100%. Couldn't have used a better gift.
He was 10 toes down on this game, man. It was wild. He saw something in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is. Mav says it feels kind of generic. Wasn't horrible, but not for him. But like that's the problem. Like it just feels like this generic thing. There's nothing to keep you there. And in this day and age, with the amount of choice that gamers have, the amount of games that are out there, like that's not a game you want to release. You don't want to release a game that people just go meh. You know, like you don't. That is one of the worst things you can do, aside from like releasing a Golem or something, and that level of bad. But yeah, like any game that's going to be successful has to be good. Like it has to be good. Like there's no same with when you're talking about shows on. I mean, everything that Apple makes is good, but like they still don't get the viewership I feel they deserve.
True.
Yeah, but there's so many great shows that have launched that people tell me about, like The Bear, that I don't watch because I just don't have time. So you're competing for people's time across not just video gaming, as we've heard from Microsoft execs, PlayStation execs, Gabe. Like they've all said this. Like we're not just competing for people's time in video gaming against other video gaming companies. We're competing against Twitter. We're competing against YouTube. We're competing against your life. Like everything's competing for your attention. So. How are you, BT? You going all right? Yeah. So I think it's like it's game suicide to release something that's not there. Right? Has to be there. My God, my body is sore from going to the gym. You have no idea. I need to be walked on by another human and kicked a little bit. That sounded weird, but I'm talking about getting a massage, right? So, we do have a couple other things. I mean, there was the earnings call. That was kind of interesting.
It's Call of Duty. Call of Duty didn't do well this year.
No, but
because
the thing is,
2024's Call of Duty was gangbusters, right? Because Black Ops 6 was just, I mean, it was a complete overhaul. They were adding the Omni movement. There was a huge marketing cycle. There's a huge campaign. It was all very well done, very successful. Just really pulled out all the stops for that one. And then this one, like, people were crapping on it like back in June, right? During the showcase when it first showed up. And they saw
with good reason
that it was going to, so it's just Call of Duty. And then like people just like people are playing it. Obviously we know people are playing it, but they're not playing it the same way, right? Because of our creators and because of Battlefield, right? And that whole month long of shooters that have come out
and eaten its lunch. Oh, by the way, when it comes to watching stuff, I did watch something on Max. It's the new Game of Thrones, the Night one. Watch that. Fucking hilarious. Gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
What's it
different.
Called?
It's the new Game of Thrones one. It's like the Knights one. A Knight's Tale. It's not a Knight's Tale, but like something. I can't remember the name, but someone in the chat will know it. Like absolutely amazing. There's 2 episodes out. Hilarious. Like it actually has a real sense of humor. I think it's going to get a little dark as well. It's a little bit weird, a little bit quirky. Loved it. So watch that. That is great. Yeah, but I think their gaming revenue is doing really, really well. So it says Microsoft held its second quarter earnings call today with the company reporting that despite gaming revenue increasing 9% year over year, Xbox hardware sales are down. The increase in revenue was instead driven by Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard and Game Pass subscription numbers. Xbox hardware revenue decreased by 25% due to the company selling fewer. I don't know why you would say that, eh? Like Xbox hardware revenue decreased by 25%. Full fucking stop. You wouldn't need to say due to the company selling fewer consoles unless you're speaking to an idiot or you feel like you're speaking to an idiot. Why else would it would revenue go down for hardware if you're selling less hardware? Yes, I know I've lost my damn camera, but I'll sort that out. I can't wait to get this damn PC. But right, yeah. So due to selling less hardware, the company didn't say all that much about gaming overall, which was very interesting. I don't find that interesting. I find it disturbing, and I'm a little concerned. Like, not that concerned though, because obviously I'm buying a PC that's going to trump anything that Microsoft bring out. Amazing. Microsoft is, however, investing heavily in both AI and cloud services, with revenue in the latter category increasing 23% year over year to $168.9 billion. This quarter, Microsoft Cloud surpassed $50 billion, up the best 26% year over year, reflecting the strength of our platform and accelerating demand. So I guess there's some hope there. The problem is, I feel like, why am I speaking like this? The problem is, I feel like every company is doing this. And me and Donte had this conversation, I think, in the chat. Holly, I don't know if you remember this, when I sent him a couple of things about what's going on with the price of RAM, DRAM, anything with R in it, basically, when it comes to PC. And there's a bit of a push, I think, from that this is very against the Xbox narrative that we've heard. So Matt Mo, get your caps lock on, buddy. We're very much getting pushed, not now just by Microsoft, but I think with larger, the whole gaming industry is pushing everyone towards cloud so that they have their hardware. What that means for you is, if you have to access everything through a cloud, then everything comes through a subscription, right? And then it's something that you're paying for in perpetuity. If you want to access games and you don't have the hardware to do so, you're now paying in perpetuity for the use of that hardware that they keep in their data server and they use for whatever they use it for. They use it for AI. I couldn't believe I still can't believe the consumer show, electronics show, and all they talk about is AI and how good their server centers are going to be. I'm like, I don't fuck your AI. I don't care. Like, why are you telling me that? Anyway, back to what I was saying. It's a bit concerning, right? That's Microsoft's investment. It's a bit concerning that we're seeing that from Nvidia. It's pretty concerning across the entirety of the industry. It does not bode well for hardware. I think it's going to create a bit of a bottleneck in the next generation, like the 6090. I think it might extend the launch of that. Like we might not see that for longer than we thought would be. I also think, Harley.
Well, I was just gonna say, like they were just talking about some manufacturers are going back to making more 3080s and 30 to flood the market, right? With GPUs that people can at least get to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, which is disappointing because they still sort of produce those wafers.
Convenient stuff?
Yeah, they still obviously can. So the thing is with the 5090, like there's no difference between, there is a difference, but there's no difference between a 5060. This is what I learned. I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. A 5060 and a 5090, right? The only difference is that some of the transistors or the chips on it have failed. So a 5070 is a 5090. It's just the 5090 has more working chips. It's more perfect. It's a better GPU. They're produced exactly the same. They're just graded. That's basically what the difference is, right? So 5070 is a lower grade 5090. There's no difference. And then it's not like they're trying to produce 5070s. It's just that it's so difficult and complicated and technical to produce them, is that not all of them come out of the oven perfect, right? So they come out graded and then they're sold as different variants. Same with the 3080s as well. But they're easier to produce because not as small in size, because the size of the chip is larger, so you get more of them that come out of the oven in a good state. So they can be 3090s, or 3080s or whatever. And then becomes more difficult as they go up. Anyway, all that said, there is just a major push, right, towards cloud, because they know that they can suck the revenue out of that in perpetuity. It's not like I paid $5,000 for that thing, that 5090, by the way, 5,000 Australian, and it's going to be 5,000 US, I reckon, by the end of the year. So if you want a 5090, now's the time, Donte. It's a concerning push, and it is a push that's pushing people out of gaming. I'm going to be really interested to see what happens with the next console generation and how they manage that. Because I feel as if they're going to have to go 4090 level at least, right? But they can't go too high, because what if those chips or the DRAMs sort of pulled from the market and they're not able to produce at the amount that they need to produce at? PlayStation's got this problem. Steam has this problem if they do a new variant, Steambox, and Xbox will have this problem. So it's going to be interesting to see how this affects the next console market. But that is a way for the consumer to stay in hardware, you know what I mean? Not be pushed to cloud. So I don't know, man. Interesting. Not a great earnings call. Good to see that their revenue's up 9%. I don't like that most of that probably came from PlayStation. But yeah, it's a concerning trend. It's pretty concerning. I think if you want to get into that PC market, now's the time. Like I think I left it to the absolute last moment to get in. And had I got in when everyone else was jumping ship, traders, then
Smart.
then I would
smart.
It would have been cheaper for me, but it is what it is. I'm dealing with it. It's fine. Holly, did you want to add anything to the earnings call? I sort of rambled on for quite some time there. Let me fix my camera.
No, I have nothing.
You have nothing?
No, I don't. I feel like I don't know. Every quarter, like quarters on the whole, I don't. For a company, it's important, but like it's more about the overall year in year out, right? I think so. Looking at each one of those is a microcosm of just what happened that 3 months in gaming. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't really care in that short term. Sorry,
I
guys.
can tell.
I don't care.
I can tell.
The $1 trillion company made a little less money.
Well, to be honest,
a shame. Or whatever. He's back. Back again. No, he's not. Oh, there. Oh. I think your internet's going a little wonky, do.
Yeah, might have, but it'll come back. I think it sort of shows that they made the right decisions, as much as I fucking hate to say that. Like, yeah, this is a decision to make at the time that they made it. Like, you know, I still think exclusivity is important. I still think exclusivity is important to sell the consoles. So if it depends on what your objective is. Depends on what your objective is. I would like their objective to have been selling consoles and the console to be the thing that was their main thing, but it's just not that anymore. So, I mean, I guess I've accepted that with buying a PC, right? That's just it, what we have to accept now, because that's what Microsoft has decided. And, you know, as stupid as I think that is, we'll see how that pans out. But it's obviously panned out pretty well for them. Xbox for life.
When decisions are made out of your control, you have to decide what to do is best for you.
Yeah, that's true. And what's best for me is berating them constantly over a long period of time.
When in Rome.
Well, look, hopefully, Donte, well, we are going live next week because I've got another week off, which is wonderful. So we'll definitely be live next week. And then hopefully we'll be on to a week on, week off and maybe do something in between. Holly, let the people know where they can find you, what you're up to, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on my channel. And I started streaming God of War. I will continue it this weekend, get 1 or 2 streams in, and maybe I will finish it. But right around the corner are a handful of games. We've got Neo 3, I think, is coming out next week for those of you who are very excited for Neo. And then Resident Evil is coming out February 23rd? 28th, 23rd. I think it's February 23rd. So very much looking forward to that. I'm excited for that. So that's it. So anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys.
It's Reanimal.
Thanks for watching. Oh yeah. Oh, Reanimal. I'm so excited. Donte and I are supposed to play it together. Maybe I can get Donte to stream it with me. But either way, I'm definitely playing that with Donte. So, yes, that's it. Thank you, chat. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
I forgot it was co-op, actually. I do need to play that. Yeah, for me, obviously, like I said, guys, we'll be live next week. Bit of a short show this week. It's a little bit quiet after the developer direct. And it usually is going to pick up in the next couple of months. So there'll be a lot more to talk about. We'll be live next week. I'll let you know what's going on from there. Head down to the description. You'll find everyone's links. Click on that. Hopefully Donte will be back next week. Yeah, everyone have an absolutely banging week and stuff. Thank you to the chat. You guys are amazing for coming through and listening as you do, putting up with my inconsistent bullshit that I will get sorted one day. Much love. See you all next week.